friends, it's me, Jenny, and today I had a couple of good questions come across my path, and I figured, hey, this is a perfect opportunity to make a video about these questions. So the first question was on my Discord from a wonderful fellow named Bor Vessel et Ruskin Ceramic. And they say, hey everyone, I know I'm not active on here at all, but I feel I could use your help. I'm thinking of streaming games soon as I have a whole bunch that I got in the Steam summer sale, and I feel like sharing the experience with others. There are some pressing issues to address with it as well, like what platform to stream on and how much memory I'll need to stream and play certain games at the same time. The Wi-Fi here isn't the best, but we may be getting a booster soon. So my two questions are, which is the superior platform? And is 7.44 gigabytes of memory enough to stream games? Wonderful questions there, my friend. Well, first off, when I stream, I'm streaming from a gaming laptop, so whenever I'm comparing computer specs, I'm always comparing to my gaming laptop. It just depends. I would actually have to Google this question because I'm not totally sure the minimum specs for memory necessary for streaming. I do know for a fact that for myself, when I'm streaming games that are also online or multiplayer games, then there may be a stronger chance of delay or problems with the internet. If you're already on the edge of your limitations with your internet, you may have more trouble with online multiplayer games. The internet where I'm at, we use Xfinity, which is owned by Comcast. So we don't have the fiber optic internet, but we have the high-speed cable internet, and that works just fine for me. But yeah, I'm always kind of like right at the edge where my laptop may or may not be able to accommodate everything I'm trying to do, but usually it's just enough to play a game, stream the game, and to have good enough internet, but just barely. And sometimes the internet will cut out in the middle of the night. And when I asked the internet company about that, they said that they will sometimes press updates in the middle of the night when there's less people using the internet, but I'm usually streaming at those hours, so more likely that I would be streaming in the middle of the night when they are pushing an update for the internet company. Let's see what else. It sounds like you have a lot of really cool games to choose from. You might want to test the games ahead of time. If any of them look heavier, then just try and see how it runs on your computer before streaming. And then you can always do a test stream by making an account that's separate from your main account. Like I have an account called Testy Jenni, and that's what I use for whenever I'm trying something new and I don't want to go live on my main account. One of the reasons why I don't like to go live on my main account if I'm just testing a new game or a new service or something like that is because when you're trying to get affiliate status or partnership on Twitch, then they will average your concurrent viewership and the performance of each stream. So each stream will count towards your average. So that's why I like to use my testing channel if I have any doubts about the particular stream that I'm testing. Try the different games, see which ones perform the best when you're not streaming, and try a test stream on a channel that doesn't matter as much to you. If you're wondering exactly what you need to get your stream up and running in terms of memory and whatnot, I would just Google it. And in fact, we could Google it together right now. As far as specs go, Twitch recommends having at least an Intel Core i5 4670 processor. Google says as far as specs go, Twitch recommends having at least an Intel Core i5. This is way too bright. Okay. So as long as you have a computer, preferably with an i5 Intel Core processor, if not i7, the better system you're running on, the better time you'll have with streaming. And even for me using a Lenovo Legion gaming laptop, I still am able to get by just fine and grow my stream naturally. Once in a while I might encounter something like skipped frames or stuttering stream, but those are all problems that you can usually just fix by Googling the specific problem. And there's lots of forums and very helpful people And my recommendation is that if you have a particular system that you'll be streaming on, Google search for that particular system, or when you're talking to people, get people's advice that have similar setup. So for me, I'm always looking for people that are able to manage a stream on a gaming laptop. But if you have like a desktop from 1995, if you really want to start streaming and you're open to streaming stuff that's not just playing games, or if you want to stream mobile games, there's also the option to stream from your phone. And there's several different mobile apps that are out there. There's more all the time, actually. There's at least several new streaming apps for mobile since the last time I talked about it. You can get the Streamlabs OBS mobile streaming app. You can stream directly from the Twitch mobile app. If you're going to stream onto YouTube, you can choose to stream from YouTube mobile app. For me personally, I like streaming from my gaming laptop using OBS Classic, which is a broadcasting software. It's open source and it's free, so you can use that for free, and you can use that to stream to any platform or a custom RTMP server, and it's really fun to use OBS. OBS Classic runs from your computer, and you can use it to stream to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, pretty much any platform. Some of the desktop broadcasting softwares also come with a mobile version. So for Twitch, it says that preferably you have at least 8 gigabytes of RAM. For Boar Vessel, they say they have got 7.44 gigabytes of memory. It might be enough. If you're playing the games that take less memory to play, then you'll probably have a better chance at streaming successfully if you're right there on the edge of what you need. I personally am able to just barely stream, but I have to turn down some of my settings. I stream a 1280 by 720. Some people with monstrous beast computers, then they can stream a 1920 by 1080. So there's pros and cons to streaming higher quality stream, as opposed to something like what I do is 1280 by 720. You might have more viewership because more people can watch it. As for which is the superior platform, I'd say take into consideration how big is your following on each platform. Which one do you already spend the most time on? Even if you decide to focus on gameplay on Twitch, then you would still probably want to have a Facebook page. If not, like also a group on Facebook. Say you already have a lot of friends on your Facebook that like gaming, then I would say make a Facebook group or a Facebook page at least, because then you can link to that stuff from your Twitch and do some cross-pollination. Personally, I think that it's helpful to have supplementary accounts. If you have a Twitch channel, it would still be good to have a YouTube channel and a Facebook page. And if you have time, also an Instagram and a Snapchat. I mean, where does the rabbit hole end? I don't know. I personally have an account pretty much everywhere, and I like to try out new services, try out different platforms, which one has an interface that I prefer to use. Stuff like that is what will sway me in one way or another to spend more time on a certain platform. When it comes to watching and broadcasting live gaming content, I personally enjoy Twitch the most because it's highly concentrated for that type of content, and so you'll find a lot of people there that like the same type of things. I think YouTube is also great for live streaming now, but that wasn't necessarily the case a few years ago. So YouTube has done a lot of catching up, but I still prefer Twitch over YouTube for live gaming streaming. However, I do seem to have an entirely different audience on YouTube. I mean, there is a lot of crossover, but there's plenty of people that are only there on my YouTube channel. They never come over to my Twitch channel. And so if I want to reach that part of my audience, then I have to stream or create content for YouTube. Especially lately, there's been some famous people like Ninja who have moved from Twitch over to Mixer. And Mixer is owned by Xbox, which is a Microsoft company, hiring good quality content creators onto their platform and sponsoring them so that they have a good reason to be there, and helps bring other people to the platform. I personally have an account on Mixer, and I haven't really done streaming on there just yet, but I did make my account several years ago because we had made a VR game, and Mixer had a program where for developers, they'll actually feature you on the front page and give you like a verified check mark so that you show up as like a verified game developer. And so I thought that was really cool that Mixer was offering benefits for game developers Whereas on Twitch, there's such a huge sea of creators on Twitch already, especially for gaming creators, but as well as for game developers. It's kind of hard to be discovered. But all the time I notice on Twitch, and I'm sure other platforms as well, they're working on the algorithms to become discovered. Some people say on YouTube it's harder to get discovered, but I think that if you really master the SEO, using all the tags, using the metadata that you can, and on YouTube it's most important to have a good thumbnail, a good catchy title with keywords, making sure that you're using a searchable title, searchable description, adding keywords and searchable stuff in your description box on YouTube, as well as adding the maximum amount of hashtags. On YouTube, they call them tags, so using the maximum amount of tags on YouTube as well. Each platform has its own ways of making channels discoverable. On Twitch, make sure you're using the maximum amount of tags as well, which is actually only 5, and they used to have a thing called communities. Now they have teams and tags on Twitch. So use those, join the team if you are able to join teams. Sometimes you can find a lot of support from being on a team. Other times, people may disagree. They might say it doesn't matter as much, but I do find it helpful to be on a team. I'm on a handful of teams on Twitch. As far as Mixer goes, I would say just look into whatever services they have available. Whichever platform you decide to try out, I would say go to their creator resources section, and each platform will have this, and more often than not, you'll find a ton of resources from the platform itself. On Twitch, it's called the Creator Camp. And then on YouTube, it's, I don't know. Each platform has its official channel that will release information and their own blogs. There's Facebook gaming as well, which I have dabbled in it a little bit, but I always found that my audience on Facebook is not really my gaming lover audience. But that'll just depend on your audience on Facebook and whichever platform you're aiming to get good at. Personally, I think that on YouTube, even though they now offer a lot of cool services for live streaming, the YouTube is still best for concentrated content that's really topical. So if you can make a channel that's all about something in particular that's going to stand out and also be searchable. Say your niche for gaming is retro games or like Zelda or something like that. If you have a channel that revolves around a certain niche, or maybe you find a specific feature about each game that you play and that's how your channel is tied together. Say you always research a certain feature in games, like the stuff that went on behind the scenes to make each of your favorite games from a certain era or for a certain console, or whatever your niche is on YouTube is going to be the best thing you can do. The more focused you are on a particular topic on YouTube, the more searchable your channel will be, and the better chance you'll have at success on YouTube. For a lot of streamers, myself included, I like to do really long streams on Twitch because I found that if I stream for an hour or 2 or longer than that, then I'll just get more and more viewers, and that will help with my average viewership. And for people that are really taking it seriously on Twitch, you need 75 concurrent viewers on average for the past 30 days and some other qualifications. So for me to stream longer and have higher viewership, that's in my best interest on Twitch. So I would prefer to do a longer stream on Twitch, and then if I wanted to take out certain highlights, and actually on Twitch they make it really easy now. There's a highlight editor that is always getting updated, and they have like cool new features for editing down your long streams, and you can do it right there within Twitch now. But there's some things that it still can't really do, like add an intro and an outro to your video, but you can do stuff like trim out all your boring parts, like where you take a 5-minute break, or you have to do the same boss battle 10 times in a row. Editing highlights from Twitch and exporting that onto YouTube, it does take time, but I mean, if you have the time to put into it and you're willing to do it for the next 3 to 5 years, then I mean, anything like a good Twitch channel or a good YouTube channel is probably going to take you, I would say, 3 to 5 years to have any chance of success. Some people might hit their niche real quick, like hit a vein and find out, oh my god, I'm really good at playing music on stream, or playing video game music, or they find their niche, or They maybe have like an audience already on a other platform and they bring it over to Twitch, and those people will have a better chance at hitting success sooner than others on Twitch. Um, but if you're just a little guy, such as myself, and you're not necessarily already established elsewhere with like 100,000 followers, then it'll just take a long time, you know, and you'll have to try different things. You might have to upgrade some of your hardware. You might need a new microphone. You might find out that no one wants to watch you because you just need a new computer. That's what happened to me when I first discovered Twitch. I wanted to try out streaming, and it turned out that my laptop just wasn't good enough. I couldn't stream anything. And then I found out, well, it turns out I was able to stream certain things more easily than other things, and so I had to focus on what I was able to stream first. And eventually I got a good enough laptop, and even now, a gaming laptop with an i7 Intel core on my Lenovo Legion gaming laptop, it still sometimes isn't good enough. I have to like turn down the quality. You know, I can't really go overboard with the settings. Often I'll have to turn down, you know, highest quality water and other cool stuff in games if I still want to stream. But there are some other tricks to streaming with a computer that's just right on the edge of power that you need to be able to stream. Like, say you want to do console streaming, you can stream directly from your console, and there's ways to go about streaming from the console and getting alerts in your stream. Like, you can get a bot, a Twitch bot, and set it up so that every time someone follows or donates, you'll at least have an alert that happens in the chat. And I don't know if, I think I heard that there's a way to do overlay alerts now when you're streaming directly from console, but I'm not sure exactly how that works yet. But that's something that you would want to search for. Finding Facebook groups, like I'm in at least 5 Facebook groups that are awesome, very resourceful, and if you have a question, they're a great place to look. Also, there's different Discords where say you're using Streamlabs OBS as your broadcasting software. They've got a Discord and they're really fast on response. So if you get stuck with something that's related to the broadcasting software that you're using, just go to the Discord for that particular company, Streamlabs OBS or Stream Elements. Those are both great services that offer alerts, and you can get help over there. You don't need to use their broadcasting software to use their alerts. You can use OBS Classic like how I do, and then you can use a separate alert from Streamlabs and another alert from Stream Elements. You can have multiple alerts for, say somebody donates $100, you can have 3 different alerts happening on your screen at the same time. But that's another thing that might slow down your computer, that might, you know, test your memory on your computer. One thing with streaming from a gaming laptop is that I have a separate integrated graphics card from my NVIDIA GPU. So sometimes I actually have to open my OBS with the integrated graphics card, say if I want to get desktop capture, whereas if I want to get game capture, I have to open it using the NVIDIA graphics card. And that's the type of thing that you'll just have to learn about when you get there. Once you figure out what exactly you want to try streaming, then you can try streaming it and see what goes wrong, and then it's kind of like going to the doctor. Like, you'll have a list of symptoms, and then you can just like break down the problem. If you go to a forum, just be as specific as you can when you're asking a question, like, hey, I can't seem to stream. This is the computer, this is the specs of my computer, this is the software I'm using, and these are the settings that I've got set on my OBS or whatever. Some of these things I can answer. If you're streaming from a gaming laptop, that's, especially if it's the same laptop that I have or around the same type of laptop, like, we might have the same problems. But if you have a completely different computer than me, I may not specifically be able to help you as well as someone else that has that type of computer. Personally, in the future, I'll probably get one of those small desktops. But in the past, the reason why I've always gone with laptops is because I needed to be mobile and I needed to be able to do my work at the coffee shop or whatever. I would have to leave the house. Couldn't always stream, you know, I couldn't always do work from home, and I work from a computer, so streaming is a huge bonus. So luckily the computer will work for streaming and work. My computer is actually good enough to do VR, but it cannot stream VR. It's either streaming or VR. But if you get like a step above my gaming laptop, like I think it's like if you get 1070, I'm still learning about all the cool computer specs and everything, but if you get a computer that's a little bit better than mine, then you could probably stream VR. It's a little bit complicated. A lot of people use two PC streaming setup. That's a little bit overboard for me. So, but that is something that a lot of people will do. They'll have one dedicated computer for the game. So if the game crashes, you don't have to stop the stream or anything. You can just restart the game, the computer that has the game on it. But that's all beyond my own, personal knowledge and experience. I've only, been listening to other people that use two PC gaming setups. Then there's like all kinds of other things you got to do, like wiring the audio back and forth through the computers. So for me, gaming laptop, it works just fine, just barely. And I got a secondary monitor, which helps a lot with reading chat. Having enough USB ports is something that I've had to struggle with a gaming laptop. You might have to get a USB extender. It's like an extension cord, but for more USB cords. But even having one of those, it doesn't always work perfectly because you'll have to have certain cords in USB 3.0, like the microphone, and there's just a certain order that, like, there's a certain order in which you need to make sure things are turned on sometimes. Like for me, with my capture card and my microphone and my stream deck, certain things got to be plugged in certain holes and it's got to be turned on in a certain order. Otherwise, things just might not work out very well. And just to be honest, like there's going to be so many technical problems with streaming. So you got to be in kind of like into that type of thing in one way or another. You got to be prepared to you got to be prepared to handle technical issues that will inevitably come up when you're streaming. And it's not as easy as one would hope. Unless you're literally just, say, streaming your face from your phone, you could do that no problem. You could do IRL streams onto Twitch or onto YouTube, Facebook Live, or it can become really popular just on your phone. And that's actually pretty good quality. Sometimes really good quality. You don't necessarily want the camera, picking up every pore on your face. But technically, if you want to stream and you're down to do streaming with IRL or just talking to your audience, that's a great place to start with just streaming from your phone if you don't have a computer that's good enough. But I would recommend that if you're going to do IRL streaming just from your phone, getting good enough lighting, or if you don't have good lights, like sit, in front of a window with the, try to make sure there's no like shadows casting on your face. Make sure you don't have any crazy background noise because that can be really distracting and hard for people to listen to. Just make sure that the lights and the audio are okay, and then you could like stream from your phone, no problem. First favorite things I like to do is get a tripod and just use my phone for as many things as I could. Because even when I had a little handheld camera, like a Sony camcorder, that's not necessarily the best camera for streaming, because like the Logitech camera that I have, it's a USB camera and it works really easily for streaming and stuff. So I think I answered all the questions so far. Yeah. I hope that answers all your questions, Bor. And if you have more questions, feel free to let me know. I'm always looking for good topics to make actual YouTube videos about. And also, I wanted to say recently I discovered this awesome free video editing program called DaVinci Resolve. And it's super easy, especially if you have any experience with video editing software in the past. Even if it's your first time, it's pretty self-explanatory. If you just watch one or two YouTube videos for DaVinci Resolve, it's really easy to get the hang of. Also, it's free, and there's really easy export options for making it perfect settings for YouTube. It's really easy to do animated text. It'll get the job done if you want to edit your Twitch. Say you use the Twitch video editor to make a highlight, and then you could bring that into DaVinci Resolve and add your own intro, outro, overlays. Say you want to have that regular overlay stuff that you see on all YouTube videos with your social medias and stuff like that. It's perfect for using DaVinci Resolve is perfect for that stuff. Alright, cool. So I had one other question from my friend on Instagram. Bazooka Joe asks, do you have any tips for a guy looking to start streaming? And I was like, oh my gosh, buddy, that is a loaded question. And I'm like, you'll have to get a little bit more specific. I mean, are you trying to stream from PC, from console? And he says, console streaming, any helpful advice or sites to start on? Alright, so console streaming. Based on your response, I'll assume that you mean just from your console, that you don't have a PC, that you are wanting to just stream directly from your console. And you can totally do that. I have a PS4 that when I first started streaming and I didn't have a good enough laptop just yet, I was able to stream directly from the PS4. And you can get a headset that has a mic and a PS4 camera if you want to just do it on PS4. But very quickly you'll notice that even if you have the PS4 camera and a mic, that first of all, the headset mics are not usually the best. So you may or may not have good quality with your headset mic for the stream. That'll be up to you. I'll usually just watch streams that have good microphone, like decent microphone, decent camera. One of the things that you'll notice right away if you're streaming directly from a console is that you're going to want to have those really cool custom overlay alerts that happen every time somebody follows or subscribes, which means they're giving you money. If you're on Twitch, they're actually paying to subscribe. You definitely want to reward your viewers who tip you and show support with bits, which is also money. But if you want to stream from your console, you will not usually be able to do the overlays. There might be one tricky way to get it working, but you'll have to look into the forums, ask people specifically how do you do that. I feel like there's an air, like some sort of air drive, some sort of cloud way of doing it, but I'm not sure for console streaming, getting your overlays. What you're going to want to get then is you're going to want to get a competent gaming laptop or some other computer that you can use a capture card with, and you'll want the computer or laptop with the capture card with your console. So if you want to use Xbox, you want to use PS4, you're going to want to use that with a capture card, which is usually like $150 or something. And then you're going to need a computer, and then you can do your overlays and alerts and do all kinds of really fun, fancy stuff on your OBS, your broadcasting software of choice. And you can get green screen, you can get all super creative, but you may not need all that stuff. But if you are just streaming from your console, you better be really entertaining if you want to also grow an audience, because if you care about getting followers and you want to grow a Twitch channel and get viewers and followers, you're probably going to have to step up your game, and you're not probably going to get very much action if you're streaming directly from your console, and especially if you don't have any camera and if you don't have a microphone, then you're probably just going to be streaming for your own joy. I find it really, really rare that anyone wants to watch a stream unless there's microphone. I mean, microphone with good commentary is preferred. I mean, once in a blue moon, someone might want to watch a long play on YouTube of a game that they love with no commentary, and that's just different. You know, it's different than streaming on Twitch. When people go to watch a Twitch stream, they're generally looking for entertainment and commentary that is applicable to the game. I would say if you're looking to stream and you're looking to grow a community and get the whole experience, not just play games for yourself and stream it, then you're probably going to want to get, I mean, all the basics. And it's really expensive at first, but that's why I made my Twitch account all the way back in 2013. And it wasn't until 2017 when I had a regular stream happening. I had finally upgraded all the equipment that I needed to get to feel confident and comfortable with my streaming setup and the stream that I was offering people and inviting people to come and watch my stream. I felt like finally I had a mic, a camera, a computer. It did take a long time to get all that stuff. It'll still take time to grow communities. So even if you have a good looking stream, you may still need to work on your charisma or your conversation. If you don't need to worry about money and buying all the equipment that you need, you'll probably be focusing on other stuff like your entertainment value or whatever else it might be. In terms of what websites do I recommend for learning about Twitch, I have an entire document full of my resources for streamers, all the different websites that I've found over the years. I just add them all to my document. I've got a playlist on YouTube where I save all my favorite resources. If I ever make a video like this, I'm basically partially regurgitating what I've learned from others that are more successful than me, but also from my own experience and just being on the platforms of Twitch. Like I said, I'm pretty much on every platform, so Twitch, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook. I'm pretty active on all those platforms, and especially also Discord. If you're looking for advice about your particular system that you're working with, I may or may not be the best person to ask because my specialty is streaming from a gaming laptop and making that work. So if you also have a gaming laptop, I can give you all the advice in the world and probably be real helpful. But there's just such a huge, strong, and supportive community for Twitch out there, both Facebook groups and Discords. It's a really fun experience and an interesting phenomenon that's happening right now where it's not just video creation that has been really popular over the years, but now also live streaming. Creating video content and streaming live is very powerful for anybody who's trying to grow a business, a brand, or get paid doing what they love. If it's a creative passion that you have, say you love digital art and you want to be able to afford the time it takes to learn digital art, well then streaming's perfect because you can make tips while you're streaming the experience of learning. I love gaming and sharing the experience of playing games online, but I also love to do creative things that take a long time, and sometimes people just want to hang out and watch me learn whatever creative thing that I'm doing in the moment. So even though you might get into streaming for the gaming, you might find out that you would like to stream other stuff as well. Like, people stream board games, they'll stream IRL events, they'll do conventions, like if you go to Comic-Con or anime convention. People stream, but sometimes it's hard to get reception when you're streaming in those events. So often people will do vlogs. I love doing vlogs at like PAX West and stuff. Yeah, pretty much I would say if you feel like you have anything to offer in terms of entertainment value when it comes to gaming and sharing your experience playing games with others, then go for it. But it is hard to become successful. And I don't want to be a Debbie Downer about that because I believe anything is possible. But I will put it out there that if anyone tries to tell you that it's easy, like, it's definitely a process, and that over time you'll get better. And if you don't give up, then you're just bound to get better over time. But I've seen people who have been at it for like 5 years and still don't feel like they have the amount of success that they deserve. So I've seen people just flat out give up, or people quit, you know, on Twitch and go to Mixer, or just quit altogether. Maybe take a break for 6 months. You know, I've seen all kinds of things like this. So I would say slow and steady is the way to go. And if you can just upgrade your stream bit by bit, then you'll probably have a good chance at improving your content over time and growing naturally. So yeah, that's my best advice. I think I answered all the questions about the console streaming. Basically, you'll just want to have to start saving up because you'll want to eventually upgrade your stuff. But you could still console stream, but I'm not sure how many people watch until you got like at least a microphone and a camera. Let me know if you have any other questions or comments, and I stream live on Twitch Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, live by midnight Pacific Standard Time, plus random streams. Have a wonderful day, friends, and thanks again. I'll see you soon. Bye.